A guy in Houston is making $47,000 a month pumping human waste out of septic tanks. He drives a truck that smells like a sewer. He wears rubber boots and chemical-resistant gloves, and his neighbors have no idea he out-earns their entire cul-de-sac combined. That is not a side hustle. That is an ugly business. And ugly businesses print cash precisely because nobody wants to run them. Most business videos show you the pretty stuff. This is the opposite. The 9 businesses in this video are gross, boring, physically uncomfortable, or socially embarrassing. Nobody brags about them at dinner parties. And that is exactly why the people who run them quietly stack generational wealth, while everyone else fights over the same 10 oversaturated markets. Here's how this breaks down. 3 ugly service businesses you can start with a truck and under $30,000. 3 ugly asset businesses that quietly compound cash flow month after month. And 3 ugly niche businesses that are so uncomfortable, most people can't even Google them without cringing. Number 9 is the one that will mess with your head the most. It generated $6.5 billion in revenue last year. Here are 9 ugly businesses that print cash, ranked from easiest entry to highest ceiling. And by the end, you will understand why the most uncomfortable business on this list might be the smartest one you could ever start. Number 1, portable toilet rental. I know. We are starting with toilets. That is the whole point. If the product makes you uncomfortable, you have already found a market with low competition. Meet Daniel Tom. Daniel was a college student working part-time for a portable toilet company. He spent 7 years learning the industry from the inside. In January 2023, he launched Bay Area Sanitation with 1 truck and 100 portable units. Year 1, he was profitable. By 2025, his company generated $4.3 million in revenue. Today, he operates 12 vacuum pumper trucks and manages nearly 2,000 portable toilets across construction sites and events in the San Francisco Bay Area. His net profit margin sits at approximately 22%. Here's the math that stopped me. OSHA requires 1 portable toilet for every 20 workers on a construction site. That is not a suggestion. That is federal law. Every construction project in America must rent toilets. The U.S. portable toilet rental market is valued at over $3 billion, and construction accounts for more than 55% of total demand. The startup floor is real but reachable. A small fleet of 15 to 20 units, a used vacuum service truck, permits, and insurance runs you $58,000 to $166,000. But here's the part nobody tells you. You do not need to start that big. One Reddit operator on the sweaty startup community posted that he started with 5 units and a rented truck. Monthly rental per unit on a construction site starts at around $160. 5 units placed on 2 job sites is $800 a month from 5 plastic boxes. The boring trick is contractor relationships, not marketing. You do not chase 1,000 random customers. You sign 3 general contractors who need toilets on every job site. 1 handshake equals 5 recurring placements. And construction projects last months, sometimes years. That is monthly recurring revenue from a product people literally cannot avoid needing. Glamorous? Not even slightly. Profitable? Painfully so. Number 2, junk removal. This is where Brian Scudamore comes in. In 1989, Brian was a 19-year-old college dropout in Vancouver, Canada. He bought a used pickup truck for $700 and started hauling junk out of people's garages and basements. He called it the Rubbish Boys. Today, that company is 1-800-GOT-JUNK, the centerpiece of his parent company O2E Brands. Individual franchise units report average annual revenues of $2.5 million to $3.3 million. The global junk removal market was valued at approximately $14.8 billion in 2025 and is projected to reach $25 to $28 billion by the mid-2030s. From a $700 truck to a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, you obviously do not have a franchise fee sitting in your savings account, but you can copy Brian's original playbook. 1 truck, a strong back, a Craigslist ad, a willingness to haul the stuff nobody wants to touch. Solo owner-operators in junk removal consistently report annual earnings of $90,000 to $150,000. 2 truck operations, the sweet spot for efficiency, frequently produce $250,000 to $400,000 in sellers' discretionary earnings. The startup floor is a truck, a trailer, and a dump fee account. Total, $5,000 to $15,000. The trick is not the hauling. The trick is the upsell. While you are cleaning out a garage, you offer to haul the old appliances, the broken furniture, the construction debris from that bathroom renovation. The average job ticket climbs from $200 to $500 with 1 conversation. And here's the insight that changed my thinking entirely. Most of what you haul is not garbage. Scrap metal has value. Furniture can be donated for a tax write-off. Electronics can be resold. You're literally being paid to collect things you can sell again. Someone's trash is literally your income. Number 3, septic tank pumping. I almost skipped this one. Then I looked at the numbers. The guy in Houston I mentioned in the hook, he runs a 2-truck septic pumping operation. His gross margins sit between 50% and 65%. His net margin after fuel, disposal fees, and insurance is around 25%. That is $47,000 a month from pumping human waste. Here's why Septic works. Government regulations require most septic systems to be serviced every 3 to 5 years. That is not optional. That is compliance. And there are over 21 million homes in the United States with septic systems. That is 21 million households that must pay someone to pump their tank on a regular cycle. Solo owner-operators typically earn $50,000 to $150,000 in annual take-home pay. Multi-truck companies scale to $100,000 to $300,000 in owner income, with some established companies generating $2 to $3 million in total revenue. The average pump-out ticket is $400 to $500. Emergency calls command higher premiums. A used pump truck runs $30,000 to $80,000. New trucks cost $100,000 to $200,000. But here's the ugly truth that makes this business beautiful. Because the work involves human waste, very few people are willing to do it. The competition is thin, the demand is legally mandated, and the customers rarely shop around. When a septic tank backs up into someone's basement at 11 p.m. on a Friday night, they call the first company that answers. They do not comparison shop. They do not check Yelp reviews. They say, "Please come now and I will pay whatever you charge." That is pricing power. And pricing power is how ugly businesses print cash. But here's what John's notebook did not predict. He almost blew the whole thing up. See, after 3 months of researching ugly businesses, John hit a wall. 37 browser tabs open, YouTube bookmarks everywhere, spreadsheets half finished. Every business looked good on paper. Every business had someone online swearing it changed their life. And every business had someone else calling it a scam. He couldn't pick. He couldn't start. He was drowning in research and starving for action. Michael Gerber warned about exactly this in the E-Myth Revisited. He said most people who fail at business don't fail because they picked the wrong thing. They fail because they never picked anything. They stay in research mode forever, becoming experts at preparation and amateurs at execution. John recognized himself in that description at 4 a.m. in his studio apartment with his phone screen glowing. So he did something uncomfortable. He closed every tab. He took his savings, $4,800 from 14 months of night shifts, and he bought a used junk removal trailer and ran his first Craigslist ad that weekend. Not because junk removal was the perfect choice, because it was the possible choice. The one he could afford right now, this week, with the money he already had. Write that down. The best business isn't the one with the highest potential. It's the one you can actually start. Number 4, commercial cleaning and janitorial services. Now, we shift to the ugly asset businesses, the ones that compound. Every office building, every medical clinic, every school, every restaurant needs to be cleaned. Every single week. The U.S. carpet cleaning market alone is a $6.5 billion industry. And commercial janitorial sits inside a global cleaning services market valued at approximately $447 billion. Solo operators generate $60,000 to $110,000 annually. Companies with 10 or more crew members scale to $800,000 or more in annual revenue, with owner incomes ranging from $120,000 to $250,000. Here's what makes this ugly and what makes it print cash. The work happens at night or on weekends when nobody is watching. You're mopping floors, scrubbing toilets, emptying trash cans, and shampooing carpets in empty buildings. Nobody sees you. Nobody thanks you. But the contracts auto-renew every month. 1 building at $2,000 a month. 5 buildings at $2,000 a month. That is $10,000 monthly from recurring contracts that renew without you asking. The trick is commercial contracts, not residential one-offs. Residential clients cancel when they go on vacation. Commercial clients pay every month because the lease requires them to maintain the property. That is the difference between a side hustle and a real business. Number 5, used cooking oil collection. This is the one I teased in the hook. And it is genuinely one of the strangest businesses I have ever researched. Here's the setup. Every restaurant in America produces used cooking oil, fryer grease, the stuff that comes out of deep fryers after a shift. Most restaurant owners think of it as waste, something they pay to get rid of. But used cooking oil is not waste. It is a commodity, a valuable feedstock for biodiesel, renewable diesel, and sustainable aviation fuel. The global used cooking oil market was valued at approximately $7 to $8 billion in 2025 and is expected to reach $12 to $17 billion by 2034. Meet Darling Ingredients, founded in 1882 as a small rendering business in Chicago. Today, their DAR Pro Solutions division partners with over 200,000 restaurants to collect used cooking oil. They process it into feedstock for Diamond Green Diesel, their joint venture with Valero Energy that produces renewable fuel. Darling Ingredients is a publicly traded company on the NYSE under the ticker DAR. From a rendering shop in 1882 to a multi-billion-dollar global operation, all built on collecting grease. Now, you do not need to build a billion-dollar company. The small-scale used cooking oil collection route works like this. You drive a truck with a tank, you visit restaurants on a weekly route, you pump out their used fryer oil for free. Some restaurants will even pay you to take it because it saves them a disposal fee. Then you sell the collected oil to a biodiesel processor. Net profit per account ranges from $15 to $40 monthly for small to mid-sized restaurants. That sounds small until you stack accounts. 50 restaurants on a weekly route at $25, average net per account is $1,250 a month. 200 restaurants is $5,000 a month. The startup cost is a truck with a collection tank and basic pumping equipment. The trick is route density. The closer your restaurants are to each other, the lower your fuel costs and the higher your margins. The ugly part? You smell like a deep fryer every single day. Your truck smells like a deep fryer every single day. Your garage smells like a deep fryer every single day. And that smell is exactly why most people will never compete with you. Number 6, crime scene and biohazard cleanup. This is the business most people cannot even think about without flinching. And that reaction is exactly why it prints cash. Meet Laura Spaulding. Laura was a police officer who kept watching families struggle to clean up crime scenes after officers left the area. Nobody told them what to do. Nobody offered to help. In 2005, she launched Spaulding Daycon as a one-woman operation. Today, it is a multi-million-dollar national franchise. Operators in this space report profit margins of 50% to 60% after expenses. A single job can range from $3,000 to $25,000 depending on complexity. The biohazard remediation market is valued between $1.15 billion and $5 billion as of 2025. Growing at 5.6% to 7% annually. Here's the part that will surprise you. Demand is not primarily driven by crime. It is driven by regulation. OSHA standards and EPA regulations have made non-certified cleanup a significant legal and financial liability for property owners. More insurance policies now cover professional biohazard remediation, which creates a steady stream of insured, high-ticket demand. The startup floor is $25,000 to $75,000 for equipment, vehicle certification, and insurance. The ugly truth? You're cleaning blood, bodily fluids, and trauma scenes. You need specialized PPE, certified disposal protocols, and the emotional constitution to walk into rooms most people would run from. But here's the filter. How many people do you know who would willingly do this work? Almost none. That thin competition layer is the moat, and that moat prints cash. Number 7, grease trap cleaning. This is the restaurant industry's dirty secret. Every commercial kitchen with a fryer or a grill must have a grease trap, and municipal health codes mandate regular cleaning, usually every 30, 60, or 90 days. Skip a cleaning and the health department shuts you down. Owner-operators who build a stable base of 50 to 100 restaurant clients earn $75,000 to $150,000 annually. Operators focused on route density can target $1 million or more in annual revenue. The startup cost is a vacuum truck and a list of restaurants. The trick is the same as Septic and used cooking oil. Route density and recurring contracts. You do not chase individual jobs. You sign restaurants on a 90-day cleaning cycle. One signature equals 4 cleanings per year. Multiply that by 100 accounts, and you have 400 guaranteed service calls annually from clients who legally cannot say no. The ugly part? You're pumping congealed animal fat and rotting food particles out of underground traps. The smell is indescribable, but the checks clear every single month. Number 8. Parking lot striping and line marking. This is the ugly business that hides in plain sight. Every parking lot you have ever driven through has painted lines, handicap symbols, fire lane markings, and directional arrows. Somebody painted those, and they got paid very well to do it. Average jobs range from $500 to $1,000 for small commercial lots. Profit margins hit 50% to 60% because paint is cheap relative to the service value. An owner-operator targeting small commercial lots, apartment complexes, and retail centers can hit $250,000 to $500,000 in annual revenue in the first year with consistent outreach. The startup cost is a striping machine, a trailer, and paint. Total $10,000 to $35,000. The trick is property managers. Property managers maintain dozens of commercial properties. Each one needs restriping every 12 to 18 months. One property manager relationship equals 10 to 30 recurring jobs per year. You do not advertise to the public. You cold call property management companies. The ugly part? You are on your hands and knees in parking lots at 3 a.m. because the work has to happen when the lot is empty. Summer heat, winter cold, traffic cones, paint fumes. Nobody sees you. Nobody cares. But the invoices are net 30, and they always get paid. And now, number 9, the one that changed John's entire understanding of what an ugly business could be: dumpster rental. This is where Mark Crossett and Mike Kernigan come in. Mike got hired to deliver dumpsters for a flood cleanup in Toronto and realized the entire business could be systematized and franchised. He and Mark founded Been There, Dump That in 2002. They started franchising in 2004. They entered the US market in 2011. Today, they have over 206 franchisees. Their positioning trick was genius. While every other dumpster rental company competed on price for commercial demolition jobs, Been There, Dump That positioned themselves as residential friendly. Clean, driveway-sized bins. Simple booking. Professional customer experience. No commercial chaos. A Reddit operator on the sweaty startup community posted that his dumpster rental business started with 3 dumpsters and a roll-off trailer. He is now up to 90 dumpsters and 3 trucks, from 3 to 90. Gross margins in dumpster rental typically range between 50% and 65%. Net margins after fuel, tipping fees, maintenance, and insurance land between 15% and 25%. A single trailer operation can generate over $50,000 in gross profit annually. Scale to a real fleet where you cross $1 million in revenue. The boring trick is route density and contractor repeat. You do not chase 1,000 homeowners. You sign 10 contractors who need swaps in the same zip code every week. Standardized drop and pick windows. Clear overage rules. High utilization. That is the dumpster rental cash machine. Here is the pattern I want you to see across all 9 of these. Every one of them sells something ugly: toilets, trash, human waste, grease, blood, congealed fat, parking lot paint, used cooking oil, metal bins full of construction debris. None of them are sexy. None of them get covered on TechCrunch. None of them trend on social media. And every single one of them quietly generates more reliable income than most venture-backed startups. 3 filters I now run every potential ugly business through before I commit. Filter 1. Is the demand legally mandated or biologically unavoidable? Septic systems must be pumped by law. Grease traps must be cleaned by health code. Construction sites must have portable toilets by OSHA regulation. Parking lots must be restriped for ADA compliance. When the government or human biology forces customers to buy, you do not need a marketing budget. Filter 2. Does the ugliness create a natural moat? If the work involves human waste, rotting grease, crime scene blood, or 3 a.m. parking lot paint, the vast majority of people will never compete with you. The uglier the work, the thinner the competition. The thinner the competition, the higher your pricing power. Filter 3. Can I stack recurring accounts in a tight geographic area? Route density is the unlock for every single ugly business on this list. Septic routes, grease trap cycles, oil collection runs, dumpster swaps, cleaning contracts. The money is not in the individual job. The money is in 50 accounts within a 15-mile radius that all need service every 30 to 90 days. Stack the route and the ugly business becomes a machine. Thomas Stanley put it best in The Millionaire Next Door. He said most real millionaires operate businesses that could best be described as dull normal. They do not build rockets. They do not disrupt industries. They clean grease traps. They pump septic tanks. They haul junk. They rent dumpsters. They quietly, boringly, relentlessly stack cash month after month while everyone else chases the next shiny thing. John's quiet win? 7 months in, he had $6,200 in monthly revenue from his junk removal route and a small grease trap cleaning side operation. He had started with a used vacuum truck he found on Facebook Marketplace for $22,000. Nothing explosive. But $6,200 a month showing up every Friday from work most people would never consider doing. His warehouse job paid $2,140. His ugly businesses paid $6,200. He did the math one morning over coffee and realized the ugly side of his life was now earning more than double his paycheck. He still had the night shift, but the junk trailer was full again. The grease trap route had 23 restaurants on a 90-day cycle, and John had started looking at used septic trucks on Craigslist. Now, your turn. Below this video are 9 numbers, 1 through 9. Drop the number of the ugly business you would actually start in the comments. Whichever business gets the most replies, I am doing a full deep dive on it next week, showing you exactly how to find your first account, what the startup costs really look like from a real operator, and the real first month numbers. So, which one is it? Number 1 through number 9. Drop it below, and I will see you in the comments.